Are you a project manager looking for a monthly checklist? Well, in this video, I am going to be showing you exactly how to create one from scratch, along with sharing the highest leverage tasks and activities that you are going to want to undertake each and every month. Now, the template that we will be building has been purposefully designed to pair with this daily checklist and this weekly checklist, meaning that all of the activities and tasks are aligned and you will ensure project success if you followed all three templates. Now, I have made all three available for instant download. There will be a link in the description down below if you did want to pick them up. In doing so, you'll save a lot of time and also have all those tasks and activities to use and leverage going forward. That being said, let me now walk you through exactly how to create this monthly checklist. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to give the document a title. I've done that in A1. If you're just using this as the project manager, you may just want to give this document the title of monthly checklist, but I am going to put project manager monthly checklist in for now. The next thing I've done is I've increased the font size to 20 and I'm going to bold it. I'm also going to go from A1 through to O2 and I'm going to put some grey background on just to differentiate the title. Now, you can always use different colours and different fonts if you want to. Maybe it's a preference thing, maybe it's to suit your organisation's branding. Next thing I'm going to do is make column A, the width, a bit narrower. We're going to go to 5. Now in B4, I'm just going to type in month, colon, and what that's going to enable us to do is just put the month that this checklist is for. That way, if we want to have various different tabs for each of the different months, so it could be, for instance, this could be Jan monthly checklist. We could right click, move or copy, create a copy, and then this could be something like Feb monthly checklist, and then you could change some of the activities and tasks accordingly. So I just thought I'd share that with you. You don't have to do that, it's just an option for you. Now, as I say, I will be sharing with you all the tasks and activities that I recommend for each and every month that span various different projects in different industries. It may be that you need to change some of these activities, but this will be a really good base. So we've got month here. I'm going to bold this, and I'm also going to put a grey background on. And we'll do the formatting actually as this video goes on. Now, I'll walk you through all the columns. I'm not going to write every single activity in. I'm going to pause the video and then show you what it looks like when it's complete to save a lot of time. So don't worry, it's not going to go on and on and on this video. So the first column is going to be week. We're then going to have activity. We are then going to have category. We are then going to have priority. Now this is going to be high / medium / low. We are then going to have status, which will form as our checklist option. I'll show you that, setting that up in a second. Follow up required. That's going to be a yes or no. Dependencies, if I can spell that correctly. So dependencies. We are then going to have the outcome / deliverable. And then lastly, we're going to have notes or somewhere to put additional comments. So what I'm then going to do is select from B5 through to J5, bold, put that grey on. I'm going to select column B through to O, and I'm going to increase the column width to about 20. Now we can always change this in due course. I'm going to type in week 1, and then I'm going to leave 3 rows, week 2, week 3, week 4. So this is going to be the bottom of our table. And what we're going to do here is essentially, I've just select basically from B5 all the way through to J22, and I'm going to put all borders on. Now, I'm going to bold these. We have set this up so there's going to be about 4 different activities and tasks to do each week. This is very high level. If we do want to add additional tasks for each week, we can just kind of right click on the row and put insert if we wanted to do that. I'm going to delete that for now because we don't need it. But I just wanted to share with you how this has kind of been set up and designed. Now, I'll just put in the first activity and then, walk you through setting up the other columns. And then, as I say, I'll pause the video and get all of the activities in there. So we've got monthly planning meeting. It makes sense to have this in the first week to prepare for the month ahead. Now, category, we are going to have planning. Now, what we can do in this column is if I just select from D6 through to D22, if I click data at the top, and then data validation, and then data validation. And then in the allow, I'm going to select list. And then in the source, what we're going to do is just give various different options. We basically want to set a drop down just to save us time and to ensure that they are all uniform. So planning, reporting, we're going to have something for maybe portfolio management. We could have something for communication. We could have something for financial, as an example. These are all the types of different activities, if you like. So we'll just do those for now. We may want to put a few more in. As I say, I will be pausing this video and we'll get the full list. We're going to leave this. This is going to be either high, medium, or low. But again, let's set up that conditional formatting, the data validation, I should say. So E6 through to E22, we're going to go data validation, data validation. In the allow, I'm going to put list. And then in the source, we're going to put high, medium, or low. And I'm going to put this, the full text, so we know what HML stands for. It's kind of obvious and self-explanatory, but it's sometimes good just to see it. In the status, we are going to set up the checklist. So to do that, the first thing you need to do is ensure that the developer option is available on your ribbon at the top. If it's not, to do that, right-click anywhere here, but I recommend doing it at the end. You can kind of right-click here, but just go to the end in this little grey bit, and then click Customize the ribbon. You then want to look for developer on this left-hand panel here. Now, I've already done this, which is why it's on the right-hand side. But basically, if you haven't done this before, you're looking for developer, you click developer, and then you press add, and then you press OK. As I say, I've already done it, which is why it's on the right-hand side, and this is why I can see it up here. Once this is available, we click this, then insert, and then select the checkbox from the form control. Then you basically just want to draw it in here, and then we're going to move it kind of central. Then I'm going to right-click, edit text, and then hold delete on my keyboard just to remove all of the text. And then what we can do here is if I select that cell, hover to the bottom right, see this little plus icon, left click on my mouse and drag it all the way down. And that, as you can see, I'm just going to get rid of that one, has now expanded that to every single row in the sheet. This is going to be a drop down. Now, here's another way of setting up drop downs, whereby the way I've set this up so far is that it stops at the end of the table. But as I say, it may be that we set up new activities along the way. So what we can do is if I select column G, click data, data validation. In the allow, we're going to put list, and then in here we're going to put yes, comma, no. Press OK. Now you'll see that it's applied this to every single row in the sheet, which is great, but we don't want it in these cells here. So what I can do is select G1 through to G5, go back to data validation, so data validation, and just change this to any value. That way, look, the drop down's not here, but it is in everything under G6, basically. So that's a good little trick. Dependencies. This is where we're just basically storing, for instance, we can't, for this particular activity here, the dependency would be, we can't do that until we've done our monthly planning meeting. That kind of comes first. So that's what we're using the dependencies column for. It basically means, are any tasks reliant on any other tasks in order for us to proceed? Now you can type that, I could type that in here. That's one option. The other thing we could do is put the row. So I could put the row number in here. We could put R6 or something like that. That's another way of doing that. The outcome or deliverable is essentially the output of that task and activity. So as an example, this might be a monthly meeting report or some kind of meeting minutes or something like that. And the notes is just anywhere to add comments. So this could be what was discussed in that meeting or something like that. So let me pause the video. I'll pull all the activities in and then we can quickly discuss them further and finish up formatting this monthly checklist. So I have brought in all of the activities into this checklist and just populated the rest of the sheet with some dummy data as well. I just want to briefly touch upon what I've brought in. The other thing I've done also is just move some of the columns around in terms of the width, just to make sure that everything is kind of legible and that you can see it. So we've got the monthly planning meeting to kick things off. We've got a monthly performance metric review. We need to update our project portfolio in the first week. We also need to conduct a risk assessment. In the second week, we're looking at a stakeholder satisfaction survey. We're looking at a financial audit and forecasting, some team training and development sessions. We need to update project documentation, the repository of those. We need a mid-month progress review. We need some CRM activities. We need resource utilization analysis. We need to conduct some market or competitor analysis. And then at the end of the month, so week 4, we're looking at kind of an end of month review and reporting, a budget reconciliation and adjustment, planning for the next month. We want to celebrate monthly achievements, and we also want to update and back up project management tools. I've added some new categories here. So for instance, you'll see team building is a new one. The other thing that we've done is put the follow-up required, yes or no, whether we need to do that or not. For instance, this may just be a one-off activity. There may not be a follow-up on that. We've put some dependencies in. So for instance, we need to look at the previous month review before we can start this month's planning as an example. And I've just populated this as well. So you can have a little look at this. The other thing I'm going to do is view and remove the grid lines, and then we've got this nice table. I'm actually going to put this border on this as well. So yeah, you can pause this video and copy this across. The other thing you can do is pick up that template from the first link in the description below. That will get you the daily and the weekly checklist along with this. The only other thing I want to really mention is just remember these activities are high level and they're designed to apply to most projects across most industries, I should say. Chances are they're not going to perfectly align with your projects. You may need to update these accordingly. That's when you want to put in a new row to basically add new tasks in and activities. Alternatively, you may just want to change these out. But this is a great structure, one that I use in my project management position and one that serves me really, really well. So with that said, over to you. Best of luck, and I hope you have an excellent day.